Hello there, Twitch chat. We're gonna have a special stream today. You're stuck with me if you want to see some epic series. We're gonna watch over the tournament that we had today. No official capacity of any sort. I'm just gonna give some commentary. I mostly want to check out all of the games, see what people were up to, because we are on the current patch, which has the exciting expansion additions that were, what would you say, giving the community a lot of different hot takes on various topics. I want to see what sort of things people brought in. Epic Series 4 is the largest community tournament currently ongoing. We want to give a major thank you to Calvin, our tournament operator and host, who runs Epic Series as well as Chromatic Cold Cups. So for today, and before I move on, we want to give a major thanks to everyone who participated. Epic Series hit some good numbers. I think there was around 60, if not over 60 participants. That's going to be a lot of games to go to. So I would like to cover at least the winner's bracket. Now, the tournament was divided into a day 1 and a day 2. Yo, what's up, Skull? Day 1 just ended a little bit earlier, so we're gonna cover at least the winner's bracket games. I think some of these go long. We'll find out if there is time in the evening and if I'm not falling asleep because I didn't sleep the best. We'll do some losers brackets games as well. The whole thing is not done yet since it goes up to a day 2. It was only the first 3 rounds of winners, and then a bunch of rounds of the losers bracket. It goes up to losers round 4. So winners 3, losers 4. The top 16 players get to finish the tournament tomorrow. That is how it's set up. And for this cast, I can only show games of people I'm friends with. I don't know if I have everybody. There's a lot of new faces, new usernames in this, so we'll show off as many as I can. I have it set up to do dual-sided hands. Finally made it. What's up, Ringtail? Yeah, I have it set up for dual hands, so we'll get straight into it. And you know, I'll do my best. I do want to turn the music volume down a smidge. There we go, because I want to hear myself thinking. Alright. I will be using my generic break screen in between to hide the match results so we do not spoil the game. We'll get started. I'll just go top to bottom. I see no reason to deviate, so we will be round 1 of the winners bracket. This is going to be Estardi versus Sinbred, so give me some time to see if I can find them. And figure out which side they're on. Okay. That's one. Don't expect riveting commentary from me. I told myself, if we're gonna go a while, there's a lot of games to cover, try and take it a little easier this time. So, but I do want to cover the games. I think it's worthy to have the matches recorded in some capacity and shared so people can check it out. Especially with the new turnout, the latest patch, there's a lot of new players joining. I think a lot of people would be very interested to see what kind of decks people brought. I believe we have The whole gamut. There are serious lists, there are some meme lists. I've heard of some exciting games that went by and some surprising results. So we will get started with the first match here. Hey, we have Astari, the Grandmaster of Time, which I thought was a sick title. I don't know if I knew that Astari had that. And Astari is Top Deck Guru alternate account or something. I'm not 100% on that, but I think that's what I understood. And then Sinbred. So we have some Songhai v Abyss. Now, for my own sake, I might reference the deck list. This was an open deck list tournament. But that is a lot of work for me to do that, so we might just roll with what's happening on screen, to be honest. And this is all live, so I'm gonna have to sync it manually. I think they're decently synced here. This person's a little ahead. There we go, though. Alright, Astari opening up. So Songhai, I think, is the faction to watch for in this tournament. They are probably the one many people are most curious about. I think the general consensus is they're strong. They're here to steamroll over everybody. So we're gonna see if that's what goes down or not. Turn 1 Rhythm Weaver, very defensive positioning. It's answered by a demonic lore. Sinbred is trading a card. Is when Rhythm Weaver takes damage, you draw a spell card. So he's trading card advantage here just to remove the board presence whatsoever. Now, Songhai, if they have minions on the field ready to go, they can do a lot of stuff to you, stuff that you might not like. And Abyssian, I think recently with the creep changes, their game plan seemed to have slowed down. I actually thought Aggro Abyssian would take the reins overall, but a lot of people do like the creep, and the creep game plan is a little bit different. And we can see some nice ramping on Sinbred's side. He gets the 5-mana Shadow Nova, thanks to the mana tile being left open. So Astari is punished slightly for positioning their Kaido Assassin next to them instead of playing it before moving forward. But they have a full hand, they have a lot of options here. I didn't get a chance to try and predict what they might do. We see Lantern Fox come down. Lantern Fox into Tuskboar. I wouldn't think this would be the exact line of play because their hand is full. So Lantern Fox right now will not produce Phoenix Fires for Astari. Tuskboar is also dead on board. It did use up the 5 mana well. I'm just not sure that combination of creatures would have been the go-to considering the situation. You had essentially an empty board. There's some creep controlling the center here. Oh, the mulligan here for Sinbred's up? Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Let's hide that. I have to do this all live. You know what else is not up? I have a cool border. There you go. Oh yeah. There we are. Anyway, second Shadow Nova going down. A little creepy crawly guy making some creep. So this is new Abyssian on display. They make creep, you know. We have 9 creep tiles on turn 3. There's a lot of creep tiles. They do a flat 3 damage now. Currently they don't have any cards that interact with creep in a way that scales them or changes their output. So static 3 damage for standing on creep tiles. Now, I think this creep positioning might be a bit of a mistake. Tuskboar was going to die no matter what, so they could have Shadow Nova down the tile, right? And just protect their face. I guess they wanted the 3 damage now on Astari's General, which I understand, but there definitely could have been benefit from just covering your territory in creep. Astari wouldn't be able to approach. At least it wouldn't be worth it to approach. As it is though, we see Kaido inner focus play happening. Lantern Fox was played immediately too, so Starry knows they just want to develop some board. Second Lantern Fox sent very far away. Juxtaposition in hand for a Starry. They can bring it in and pop off with that at their leisure. It's going to be hard for Sinbred to prevent that from going on. And Sinbred at the moment, and we're seeing Alsuin the copy inner focus, so we're inner focusing Alsuin. Okay. I was gonna say Sinbred has their double spikes with the Alsuin, so they're able to copy their Sphere of Darkness, but I guess inner focus works as a copy too. Decides to sphere a Starry's face. Walk away from the Lantern Fox. I don't hate it. Currently, the positioning of the creep as Starry's general will hurt if they decide to chase. Now, Starry could just develop here, take it slow if they want. They can do a juxta play with Killing Edge as well to apply a lot of pressure, though. Hey, what's up, Zero? It looks like we are seeing the Killing Edge play with juxta. I didn't realize because they must have. Did they replace the Mana Vortex? I didn't notice it earlier, but it flows well with the Flame Wreath. So now they can afford to do all of this. Putting Sinbred down to 7, 2 Phoenix Fires in hand, so one came from the deck. Sinbred is in a lot of trouble, but they do have an okay chance here. We have the new crawler enemy. The Night Splitter. What is this thing called? Hold on, I have to exit my screen and look. Yeah, Night Splitter. This is going to heal for 12 HP while doing damage to things one tile away from all the shadow creep tiles. And then the second sphere going down. It's a Phoenix Fire that a Starry will not generate as their hand became full when the second Fox took a hit right there. So it was looking dire at first for Sinbred. They're in a fairly decent position now, as Starry does have a lot of tools to do a lot of damage. And they can't really get away from the Night Splitter as well. They could have you could have sent your Flame Wreath out and then juxted it just to get the Night Splitter out of the way. Oof. Alright, Thief of Moments, develop Thief of Moments. We know he's probably the card to look out for in this tournament. Curious to see his performance. I think Thief is quite insane, personally, even at 3 mana. But developing the Thief for a future turn, 2 Phoenix Fires go into Night Splitter. Sinbred probably feels pretty good about that, considering taking a Phoenix Fires is to get rid of that Thief of Moments. They could assassin the Thief and develop their Dark Spine Elemental, who has changed in the recent patch. Could also just hold on to Phoenix Fire, regardless. I'm not sure in this matchup, would there be something more desirable to copy than just a Phoenix Fire? Your opponent is down to 11. So I guess a Phoenix Fire is fine. Adding a little insult to injury with the Grasp of Agony, just doing 3 face damage. And these 2 1 HP minions will likely die to Flame Wreath here. If they Starry wanted to, they could have... Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. It depends. If they wanted to spend the Jux, they could have Juxed in a way where the 2 minions would die and you could get a ping off on Sinbred. You could actually get 2 pings off on Sinbred. It looks like they want to preserve the Flame Wreath though. So a bit less aggressive of a play, keeps your Flame Wreath around as long as the Abyssian doesn't have another Night Star Assassin to capitalize on. But you know they copied the Phoenix Fire too, so it might have been worth to cash in the Flame Wreath while you could. You could have gotten 4 damage out of it, it would have been 5 with the ping from the Four Winds Magi. Another Phoenix Fire for Sinbred, borrowing the power of Songhai's fire. Starry is in trouble here. He's gonna have to clear the board. Decides to play both Gotatsus just to cycle cards. I do think that's a good idea considering the situation you are in. But this is not enough, as we can see from the hand. Sinbred will have a clean kill. They have another 3 damage from Phoenix Fire, 2 more from the Spectral Blade. They can even tack on that Shadow Nova. So it was looking really good for Astari at first. Sinbred managed to completely change the game with just the 1 Night Splitter play. Astari sort of ran out of... Didn't really run out of steam, but they were kind of cornered, so they couldn't develop anything safely. Alright, so with that, game 1 goes to Sinbred. And now I will dig around for game 2. So these games are best of 3s for this tournament, so we're going to be here for a good long time. The whole thing was best of 3, and there is winners and losers bracket as well. Oh wow, I am so good at guessing who's in first and perhaps what is in second. Okay. Let me try to get the player 2 hand ready to go. So game 2. I'm gonna try to synchronize things, so hopefully you guys can enjoy their hands while you see them. We might want that on real time. Alright, player 2 is already ready. And let's hide that. Alright, classic opener. From Spell High, we have Chakra Avatar buffed with Mana Vortex. Fortunately for Sinbred, there is a Sphere of Darkness in their hands, and they can even develop this Darkspine Elemental. Opting to save Sphere of Darkness, taking the 2 damage to face with Demonic Lure. I don't know if I would do this play myself. It's an interesting decision. I'm curious what Sinbred's thoughts on it are. In my opinion, because of the new creep change and it's always a flat 3, I think one of the bigger talking points for Abyss's power level is the benefit Demonic Lore has gained. It's basically a 4 damage removal spell, which means it's really good at killing a Four Winds Magi or a Lantern Fox if you need to. So I feel like I would have sphered on that turn to save the lore for the chunkier Songhai minions that you may see. Now this, I'm curious to see how Astari responds to this turn. So Darkspine Elemental creates Shadow Creep. When he deals damage, Astari decides he'll take the 5 by letting the creep spawn under his general instead of under the Tusk Boar. Goes face with Tusk Boar. Sinbred's just gonna take it and heal off. Gotatsu was once again used just for cycling, just to keep up a high tempo on the hand, thin the deck a little bit. I don't think that's a bad use of the Gotatsu. You know it's good against two things in Sinbred's list. You've seen the Alcuin or Alcuin Mage, and you've seen, well, you know Abyss probably runs NSA, Night Sorrow Assassin. So hey, it could be worth to hold the Gotatsu just for clean kills on those targets, but I don't disagree with just using it to cycle it out of your deck as well. Looks like we're doing a Flame Wreath play with Tuskspore. Tuskspore sacrificing itself to take out this Rejuvenator. That's a pretty good trade for Sinbred overall. I think he'll enjoy seeing this. And then Mana Vortex. In this spell high list, Mana Vortex doesn't have a lot to hit. I think Heaven's Eclipse and Phoenix Fires are your best targets. So once again, just cycle it. Songhai has a lot of cycling. You may as well make use of it. Sorry with the pros setup. Thanks. The perks of hosting Team Wars. I get to reuse the assets over and over again. Alright, easy turn from Sinbred. I was wondering if Sinbred would equip the artifact there, but I guess there's no reason to. You may as well set up Shadow Nova, this time moving on top of the Shadow Nova as well. Another Mana Vortex being used just to cycle cards. Chakri gets its +1/+1 benefit from it. Not enough to save it from the Sphere of Darkness. I have to say, so far Sinbred has been handily answering A-Starry's plays. Keeping Songhai, preventing Songhai from developing their threats constantly is definitely something you would like to be doing if you don't have lockdown of other forms to deal with their things. Now we see a Gotatsu getting used against said Night Sorrow Assassin, so good use from that. I would suspect the Thief to be developed, but I can see a Starry passing here if they want to. There's one thing about 3-mana Thief, he's good in the late game. When you have 7+ mana, you can do a lot with Thief out of hand. So you may want to consider holding it. No, I changed their mind. Not even doing a diagonal protect of the Thief, because they're going to have a blink, right? I have to say, as we go through the games today, don't expect me to predict where people are going to like put their Thief. There's so many permutations available with the blink cards generating as rapidly as they do. So the game becomes very chaotic when the Thief of Moments is on the board. I see Healing Mystic. I suspect Demonic Lure will be used. Demonic Lure is not used. That could be a fatal error. We'll have to wait and see. So I actually think Thief is a card that demands so much respect. You need to delete it when you can. It can very almost undoubtedly get out of hand, even if it just prints one free spell. Which is going to be the second free spell that it prints. If a Starry doesn't mind taking 3 damage, they seem like they were thinking about it for a moment there. Now, in the Starry's hand, he doesn't actually have a way to capitalize on Thief yet. I didn't pay attention if we saw a replace or not. It looks like we're buffing Rhythm Weaver and taking out the Healing Mystic, not pushing face damage. This is going to create 2 blinks that we can see the Rhythm Weaver positioned far away so that it's safe. Probably in the corner down there. Yeah. That's what I figured would go down. Okay, the replace happened after Rhythm Weaver drew a card? It's hard to tell with the replay. I don't know if that was the game showing us the draw from drawing, or if that was the replace of the card Rhythm Weaver drew. I think Rhythm Weaver drew the Juxta, though. Anyway. So Sinbred has a Revenant turn. Likely, yeah, one of the 2 thieves bites the bullet here. You don't want to throw your Revenant into the thief, into the Rhythm Weaver, but doing this leaves up a pretty nasty 6 attack minion. The only alternative Sinbred would have had if they didn't go Revenant would be the Demonic Lore, just to get rid of the big attack guy. They had nothing to develop beneficially. They could have healed to full using a Night Splitter early just to get a 5/5 body on the board and leave 2 thieves up. I think that would have been an okay alternative. Maybe not game winning though. Starry going in hard. We're getting 10 damage. And we draw another spell with the Rhythm Weaver. And a blink being used to get him off of the Shadow Creep tile. Keep him safe. At least from the creep. Looks like we're thinking about preserving the 10-1 and switching it with the 2-1. I don't know if that would be worth it per se. I think it's fine where it is. Actually sticking the Thief of Moments out there in harm's way. Interesting decision. If Sinbred doesn't have a means of removing that, could be the right decision, in all honesty. Now, Sinbred realistically probably just heals for 9 and then pings the Rhythm Weaver away. So I think we have a lot of game left here. Yeah, there's not much else you can do. Whipping up Spectral Blade as well to take out the thief that you put in harm's way. I think that result is the reason why I wouldn't have opted to move the 10-1 from where it was. The thief would still be alive right now, which would be a huge deal. Once again, a Starry's hand is filled with the burning passion of Songhai. We have 9 damage to throw around. Could draw first with the Rhythm Weaver if you wanted to just see what option you gain. Wow, that was a good draw. Gotta say. The Go Tatsu makes for a clean change of pace here. I'm taking out the Night Splitter. I think a Starry was considering not killing that at all. I think that Phoenix Fire was going to go face if they didn't get a Go Tatsu. And at 15 HP because of the healing with 4 wins, probably are okay. The current creep lists from Abyssian, they don't really do over 10 damage in a single turn. They kind of grind you out more. So, yeah, I would have considered going face there too. Is Sinbred all about that Phoenix Fire? He's just like, give me a Phoenix Fire. Plays Alcuin, heals for 4. Honestly, might have been... he's healing for 6. 6 is pretty respectable. He could have healed for... what, 9 and 4, 13? Instead of 6? 13 would have brought him back to full. He would have a lot less board. Well, not a lot less board. He'd have a 5-5 and a 4-4. Might have been worth it to heal the 13 here. I can't tell offhand if a Starry has lethal. We need to see what this Heaven's Eclipse does, because, yeah, they're going for it. They have at least 2-3 pings, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7 damage right now. There's 10, 11, and another inner focus. That's going to be +4. So I do believe that is... they can't cast Kaido and Phoenix. So it's 4, 7, 8, 9. Oh, they can hit. Wait, they have Juxa. They have absolute lethal. 4 winds can reach face. Alright, there you go. That's a nice clean kill from Songhai. Sinbad was looking good there. They might have wanted to consider healing that extra 9 HP instead. Could have made a big difference, but that's alright. We're going on to game 3. Between Sinbad and Astari. Now, curiously, I think, if I was to make a prediction here, actually, let me see if I'm right about this. I'm gonna make a prediction. So, you guys in the Duelyst community mentioned about player 1 having an advantage. So, I wonder how many people choose... Yes, that did hold true here. I'm curious how many people choose to go first. So, in this tournament, when you lose, you get to hear what deck your opponent's submitting, and then you choose to go first or second. And thanks to the latest update, which I wanted to shout out, Dream Sloth Games, the custom game. I don't know how long it's been out there because I don't usually do custom games, I'll admit. I usually just play on the ladder. But you can choose your starting position now in custom games. So it's a really nice little menu. Yeah, these are best of 3s, so they're gonna take a while to get through. But that's okay, it's free content for me. I just get to sit here and talk Duelyst all day. Alright, let's that's weird. Why is that way? Oh, I know why that's that way. Hold up, I fucked up. I fucked up. I opened Sinbad twice. I need a Starry's perspective here. Alright, just a moment. There we go. That looks more accurate. Let's transition. So, Sinbad decided to go first for game 3 between these two players. Let me get them unpaused. I'll try to synchronize. Because I'm going to focus on synchronization, I won't really make predictions with the, what do you call it? Let me wait till they sync up a bit here. Oh, this is not the right game, actually. Now I'm noticing it. This is the wrong game. Hold up. We're gonna do-over. We're gonna do-over. Let me transition to the break screen. Hold up. I had incognito selected. That explains why this was very confusing. Then bread. Estari. Yo, what's up, Cosmic? You pissed you missed this one? 59 people, solid turnout. It was a solid turnout. It was definitely a big tournament. Sorry you missed it. But you're here to catch it now, at least. As soon as I stop misclicking, I see where I went wrong. I see where I went wrong. What decks did I bring? I can talk about that when we get to my game, I guess. We'll stay focused on the current game here. Okay, for real, it's Sinbred versus Astari this time. My apologies. So we are going to yeah, let me try to sync them up, and then let's pause that until player 2 is selecting their hand here. All right, should be good enough. And I know. Play 2 hand. I gotta get it all covered here. Darkspine Elemental, pretty good opener for Creep Abyssian. I think you definitely would prefer to start with the minion if you can. And this minion, okay, we could talk about the usual thing I like to talk about with Songhai. I see a lot of people do this still. Now I don't know if Sinbred minds it. Nice Gotatsu going down. Does this get rid of those Gotatsus? They're purely he's really running a 37 card deck. This wants to throw the Gotatsus away. But yeah, the opening minion, when you play one against Songhai, if you go on the corners and if Songhai has a Tuskboard, they can hit the mana tile and then develop an extra minion. So you may want to consider strongly the middle tile opener. It wouldn't have changed anything in this situation, really, but it's just something to keep in mind. Because Darkspine trades with Tuskboard. So with that, it doesn't matter as much because Darkspine does kill the Tuskboard back. Yeah, people brought some interesting lists. I've heard things about some players, so I'm looking forward to seeing their lists in action. Here goes the demonic lore stonks increasing ever higher. Alright, Sinbred says, I'm tired of getting Phoenix Fires. I'm just gonna get my lore back to kill your next 4 Winds Magus, or whatever you play. And the Starry's like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm just gonna clear your minion for free. And now Astari could keep the pressure going, just do some face combat here, which they do decide to do. They seem like they were thinking of playing a little more defensively for a moment. Excuse me. Ugh, I'm choking on my spit here. I do like the split. As Starry knows, Sinbred has Grasp of Agony in the deck. Also, you have 5 mana Shadow Nova that you would probably rather not play into. Weak high start. Yo, what's up, Kolos? The Songhai start wasn't too bad. Maybe the follow-up wasn't ideal, but I think it's okay. Considering their power level, it's good enough. Sinbred interestingly floating 2 mana instead of pushing 3 damage onto Astari's face with the Sphere of Darkness. I think I would have played Sphere there just to do damage. But maybe it's better that you held it for this situation that you find yourself in. It's a nice cross pattern surround going on, and yeah, I don't see a reason for Astari to hold back in this situation. Placing last, as we do. Tournament players are known to do, always replace last. I know I'm definitely guilty of that. Usually if I know what play I want to make and I'm content with it, I don't care about replacing and seeing what other options there are. So I'm very bad about that. Place last to flex, hells yeah. Alright, Sunbread has to go for the clear. You don't want these minions lingering. Healing Mystic. Could walk 2 backwards just to stay out of face punchy range. Yeah, that's what we see. You know what? I haven't looked at the deck list, but does Sunbread not run Crawler? They don't have the extra creep generation from Abyssal Crawler, or I just haven't seen it. They use Darkspine Elemental instead. The first game, Sunbread had a lot of creep, but he had back-to-back Shadow Novas. His creep production is a little on the low side this time around. The Starry with the triple Tusk Boar drew all 3 of the little piggies. Usually if you draw all 3 of your pigs, you're probably in a winning position, and Sunbread will get a clear here, but it's going to provide 2 Phoenix Fires to Astari. Only one because they can't fit both, but that's 1 more Phoenix Fire than you would like to. You develop nothing. The Shadow Creep doesn't stop Astari from keeping up the pressure on your face. If Astari replaced into an inner focus there, I think Sunbread would be close to dead. he would be at like 3 HP. This is gonna have to be a setup turn instead. Sure, Astari doesn't mind. You have 8 mana to play with, so just dump practically 8 mana worth of minions. Isn't that 8 mana of minions? Why did it say he has 1 left? I'm confused why he has a floating mana left. Does Thief of Moments not count as 3 mana in the replay or something? Because is Rhythm Weaver a 1 mana card? Oh, my bad. Rhythm Weaver's a 1 mana card. I thought he was 2. This thing is crazy too. Song High. It's crazy at the moment. Anyway, Sunbread thinking about healing 6, doing 3 damage to the enemy, and he does have crawlers. I think that's the first one I've seen in this set. Is he just doing face damage? No, he's not punching, he's just equipping. That's about the best that Sunbread could do. The artifact will slightly, ideally, save you from inner focus hitting multiple times, but Astari just has raw power on their side. They had, what, that was 13 damage out of hand, so plus 2, that's 15, that's 17, plus all the blinks. That is going to be super lethal with 21 damage total if everything goes in. And that will end the game. So Sunbread made it to 8 mana. Astari to 9 as player 2. And he's able to empty his entire hand. These blinks are irrelevant. Sunbread would have 1 HP left if that blink couldn't, if that blink costed a mana instead of 0 mana. But well played by both. Let me, so Astari moves on to round 2. Sunbread will be able to try to make a comeback in the losers bracket. Let me get the next set, which is actually me. So let's get this over with, I suppose. It's going to be a little weird commentating in my own games. Also have to get a match history. I think it was player 2. Yeah, da, 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 da. Okay. So I had one goal with this tournament. I wanted to see if Dervish Vitruvian is as bad as everybody says. So no matter what happened, even though I submitted 2 decks, I had no intention of swapping to the other deck. I just wanted to put Dervish Vitruvian through its paces, and honestly, I was impressed enough with its performance, and everything else kind of went about how I expected. Which means I got creamed by like 1-turn kills and other stuff. we'll get to that later. That's a little too early, right? I'm gonna be curious to see my opponent's perspective on things and why they did some of the things they do. So for game 1 here, we have myself versus Spell. I'm not very familiar with Spell. I think they are a newer player, so I was happy to yo, what's up? I accept. And now I can watch their games too. Yeah, if you don't have me added and you want your game shown, make sure you add me. Yeah, don't be shy. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to get this started. But yeah, I'm running a obelisk list or dervish list with Maelstrom as my main finishing piece. So that's the game plan for me, is survive until 9 mana and then hopefully chain Maelstroms into a victory. Unless I can kill my opponent sooner. Spells list here has Avalanche. We can see it in hand. This was an open decklist tournament, so when I saw they had Avalanche, I knew that we were never stepping onto their side of the field, and then they would have a couple of dead cards, ideally. So they open with Bone-Chilled Barrier. I didn't see what else was in their hand. I'm not a fan of Bone-Chilled Barrier turn 1 as player 1, personally. Unless you have a Snow Chaser or some other thing to cheekily throw out, maybe deny 2 of the mana tiles, then I think it's fine. Oh yes, and this is going to turn out to be a pretty rough matchup for me. Spell has a huge swath of Dispel in their deck. They're running Chromatic Cold, they have Lightbender as we can see. They have, I think they have Shroud too. So, definitely going to be a hard set of games. On this turn, just trying to think, where do I want this obelisk to be? Somewhere that it'll hopefully be relevant. And I developed a Chronomancer purely for tempo. The Chronomancers, I have 2 of them in my deck. I only want to use them for endgame, really. But since my first obelisk was hit, and I figured the second one was also going to be hit, I knew I needed the extra 2/3 entity out, so I decided to just play the Chronomancer out. Sure enough, we see Spell with the Heart Sister play, so they cleanly answer my second obelisk. And they have a lovely little Snow Chaser who's going to try to get a bunch of value on me. And I think I just do some Portal Guardian development here with the 2 mana guy whose name I forget at the moment. Ancestral Vessel, yeah. I'm trying to keep things spread out. As in, like, Ancestral Vessel and Portal Guardian 4 spaces away, because I know my opponent has a suite of Lightbenders in their deck. And I don't mind Portal Guardian taking damage or going out here to trade with this Crystal Cloaker. So I figured I would just put it there. I could have put it behind the Fireblaze, but I didn't want the Fireblaze to make its movement awkward. Because my opponent also has they're generally a Vesper deck, right? Their Vespers, they're running Mark of Solitude, as you can see, instead of Frostfire. But they have a lot of means to swarm, so I figured it's best to just get some value out of the Portal Guardian now. And on this turn, once again, I'm trying to develop an obelisk to get something going here. Thankfully, I can clear the board, since my opponent decided not to set up too much. And I used the vessel to protect my face, because we're already at 18, getting a little low. And if they use a solitude, it's kind of awkward for me to deal with it. Oh, this is a little painful to watch, right? This is what people fear. This is why people don't play the obelisk. They throw Chaser that doesn't return the hand over Cloaker. Yes, that's true. They did do Chaser again instead of another Cloaker, which is surprising to see. I just assumed they only had the Chaser out. Hey, what's up, Hobo? But anyway, they dispel my third obelisk, or my third thing here. So, this turn, we just want to clear stuff as best as I can. We're making use of the new Equinox Hourglass artifact that Retrieving has. I'm quite the fan of it. I also use a First Wish on the other Dervish just to get rid of the damage. My plan is, we're getting close to 9 mana. A lot of, 2 Chromaticals are gone. This person doesn't really have a lot of ways to reach me, so my artifact probably survives. And I do suspect that one of the 2 spawns will be blocked, but if I could just get the 1, I'd be pretty happy with that. Now, this play here, I think they should have blocked my second spawn, personally. I think the Glacial Elemental should be next to me, but they decided to keep it back, which I don't blame them for. But I'm thankful that they decided to do that instead of blocking my Dervish spawn. So I actually would have been in a lot of trouble if they didn't let me get this Wind Dervish here. So as you can see, I'm going to use it to clear this other guy. Pretty much develop my hand. This is the last hurrah, right? I spread out the obelisk. If he dispels this stuff, we're probably done for this game, but we have the Maelstrom ready to go. The artifact's at 3 charges. It's the best I can hope for. I just have to hope they can't hit both of them, both of the obbies. He goes for the Fire Blaze, which is a good idea, although it might have been worth to hit. No, I would have gone for the Fire Blaze too. I put the Ancestral Vessel next to the Fire Blaze on purpose. I wanted to make it more tempting. The 1 damage is big, but the +1 movement is quintessential, so I wanted the Windstorm to survive, and you're gonna see it come into play here a little bit as we start doing the Maelstrom stuff with Hourglass in tow. I am queuing up commands because my opponent is dying. And yeah, not able to chain Maelstroms, but we had enough power to just kill my opponent. I think we summoned the Rashas too. So didn't need to chain the Maelstroms. Just ignore the losing battle. I decided to throw out the Doomcaster just to make sure I didn't miscount and I hit the damage correctly, because I started going pretty quick there. That was the first game between Spell and I. So let me get up the second game between Spell and I, which I think they went first. That is not... Oh wait, yeah, that is correct. I forgot. So in the first series, I forget if I mentioned this, everyone was able to submit 2 decks. So you have your 2 lists that you can choose, and you can swap them freely with some courtesy rules on informing your opponent as to what... The winner has to inform their opponent of what they're going to play. So in the first series of games, we only saw the same 2 lists for all 3 matches between Sinbred and Astari. For this series of games, my opponent's spell here is swapping over to... Oh, I went to the wrong thing. Swapping over to their other list, so I won't spoil it yet. Yeah, dual track coming in with the party of 4, apparently 2 times over, because I see 2 notifications of it. I don't know how you raided me twice. The double strike, the inner focus raid. That's crazy, yeah. But thanks for the raid. Efficience. Welcome on in. You're just in time to see me do my games. Alright, spell switches to Magmar. They have a... I guess it's like a mid-range Magmar list. I don't know what to call it. There are grow minions and stuff in this list. Okay. Excuse me. The pony did survive. Alright, so right off the bat, we have a Phalanx, our opener. I have a very weak turn 1. I don't want to just play an empty Chronomancer. I decided to do a turtle opener, trying to stall things out as best as I can, while Magmar approaches me with 4/4s. And I was actually stumped here, looking at my hand. It's not ideal. The other game is a little ahead. Hold up. Let me pause this for a little bit. Okay. I was a little stumped on that turn. I decided to go aggressive. And try and race Magmar because he's got things in his list that I can't really keep up with. You see the high hand here. He has high hand, he has Colossus, and he has Earthwalker and stuff, which we see that come down too. So he has a lot of value grow minions. I only have 3 Siphon energies. So I decided to make the decision to... I didn't remove the hand, my apologies. I make the decision to be more aggressive in this game and see where it takes me. But I also made that decision because my draws were not ideal. You see my second Chronomancer comes down on empty board. I tried to set up the Dune or Ancient Vessel in a safe position to maybe benefit from it. And then I get slothed. This is a very good play. Spell did a good job with this sloth. I do not have a means of cleanly dealing with the sloth. Now, I decide to instead get rid of the Grow Minion because I felt like it was going to become too much of a problem. And then I thought, I'll just manually clear the Sloth and the Phalanx are out. Equip the artifact and maybe I can generate value on the next turn with the Ancient Vessel. But because I chose to stay on the blue tile here, Spell's able to just capitalize on a lot more damage than I would have hoped, and this Earth Sphere kind of kills any opportunity I would have had at drawing some extra sources of damage. So I'm pretty much dead here already. If I could run this one back, I think I would have dispelled the Sloth and walked off of the blue tile. I just took way too much damage on the previous turn, and on this turn I can only hope that I can block block Bath from murdering me, but he gets this awesome mana burn play. So Phalanxar is in range, and then Amplification is going to send Phalanxar over the edge to finish me off. That was nice and quick, right? But yeah, I think I definitely misplayed handling the Sloth. I could not do as much damage as I would have liked to against that Magmoralist. So Spell takes it over. It's 1-1 in their set, so we have one more game to go. Spell. Get you loaded up. Get me loaded up here. Wait. Alright, after that performance, I was expecting Magmar again, honestly. Because his list is kind of strong against mine, and he had a very good showing of it. But Spell decided to play Vanor. So they're switching back to try the Vanor match once more. So here's opening hands. I'll get this started. Okay, player 2 was ready to go super fast there. Hold up, pause. And wait till he moves. Wait till I move. There we go. Alright, so this time around I decided to take a first player slot. In this tournament I was player 2 quite a bit, except for when I claimed the loss and I was able to choose. I definitely think player 1 is stronger for my deck, even though player 2 hits 9 mana slightly sooner. I have a harder time making or catching up with the Obelisk list if I'm going second and the 3 mana thing that I play ideally gets dispelled or removed. Spell here decides to set up a barricade, so I'm like, alright, I'll respect your barricade, and we're just gonna move back. Hopefully that won't get hit with a chromatic cold like the first one did. And then Spell has a very weak Snow Chaser play. So Snow Chaser will develop value, but they didn't develop any more board control. So I decided to move things around here, trying to spread out against a Lightbender. I put the Vessel up top just to block that space from having a spawn. And here Spell decides to play aggressive with their minions. I get a bad Dervish spawn, but we can fix it, the one on the bottom left. The bad spawn aside, I'm surprised they put the Fenrir Warmaster there. It just gets traded into with my 2 Dervishes on average. So I get a free trade in that regard. And throughout this game, it's going to be Snow Chaser management time for me. I'm going to punch this thing a lot just because it just never goes away. I decided to use my Vessel to just clear a wall up top. And then I draw cards here. I'll only get 1 card at the end of the turn, but I figured I may as well fill up my hand and offset the damage I received now for more options later, even if it's just 1. And the Spell gets an extra 2 of these things, and since I can see their hand, they're drawing kinda unfortunately. I mean, Snow Chasers are fine. But I have Dervishes, so we have Snow Chaser sweepers. I forget what I do on this next turn, so I have to wait till I start executing. Cause I have a lot of options here. I think I just developed 3 2-drops. Yeah, send one of the Dervishes face, because I don't need to remove the wall. It's actually in a good spot for me. One thing about Spell's list, they do not have transformation cards. There's no aspect of the worm. There's no aspect of the mountain or fox. So the wall being next to the obelisk there is actually beneficial to me. And then I wanted to just play as much around the draw walls as I could. So I set up a line of minions here. Mostly as a barricade to stop a Lightbender. Spell decides to go for some RNG pings, so they're gonna get, what is this, 5 pings off? So 10 damage coming in. I just hope it spreads out well. I'd say it was okay. I wish it didn't hit the 5-2, but I can't really complain. Yeah, they got a 6 ping off and it killed the dead dervish. It's actually pretty decent. Pretty decent RNG for me with the glacial elemental. This board state's ridiculous looking back at it. So right here, I'm just thinking I need to get rid of the glacial elemental. I have the wind obelisk so I can reach it. I just need to figure out how to path this exactly. And then I execute that. Nice avalanche. For spells perspective of things, I don't think I would have done too much different from what they did, with the exception of his walls could have surrounded my obelisks on the top left, and they could have stopped them from generating Dervi. But he would have had to put himself in harm's way. I guess he didn't want to put himself in harm's way. Anyway, I get a nice clear in the draw wall since I put the... He drew up the 6, so I get to get rid of some of the junk that keeps recurring. He gets a decent lightbender here. Not a flawless lightbender. So I don't mind that. Yeah, what's up, decoy? Yeah, we're still spawning a bunch of dervishes. And on this turn, I can pretty much clean up the field of all these Vanor minions that are around. Decide to set up Portal Guardian in the back. We're running Third Wish so he can become a giant laser beam as we spawn stuff. And I put this Dunecaster in the front. Mostly is a distraction for my opponent. Maybe it pushes 3 more damage into his face as he clears it. And then I take the middle. I don't plan on going further in because I know avalanche is a thing, but I do move up to the middle so my artifact can benefit. Here we go with another round of hoping the pings don't hit things that matter. Luckily for me, there's only 1 ping off of this guy. Cryo takes out the biggest dervish, and then the Mark of Solitude goes down to turn his glacial elemental into a hulking snowman. So we reach 9 mana, I have 2 maelstroms in hand. I won't elaborate my brilliant tactical mastery that you're about to see here, but needless to say, you can probably guess what we're going to try to do with the next 3 turns that we get. So. And here we go, using Vitruvian's new tech, Chronomancer, and Time Maelstrom at the same time. It's an extra 4 damage. Pretty ridiculous. And then we draw the 3rd Time Maelstrom, so there's literally 0 way I don't have enough damage here. I think I pause for a moment here because instead of Time Maelstroming again, I can just kill my opponent by equipping another artifact and running in the Ancestral guy. Or no, he's dispelled. The Ancestral guy won't make a dervish. Then we just run in the artifact. Nothing fancy. But that concludes my first set. It was an interesting standoff. It was definitely a bizarre 3rd game. The first game though, and the second game, Spell had a lot of pressure on me. I managed in the first, and I didn't do so hot in the second one. But that's the end of me. I can finally move on. So we are going to have, I believe, an Abyssian mirror match coming up next. Let me see if I can... Do I have these two players? A one-sided game? I don't think it was that one-sided, but their Magmar deck definitely fared better against me than their other deck. Okay. I don't know how this is gonna work, but we're gonna try this out. Confirmed. There we go. I mean, I guess it works. So things will be player 1 and 2 is reversed, but I have a second scene set up to swap their hands around, so we're gonna roll with it. We have Confirmed Harry facing off against Cat Paw. So they are both Abyssian. I don't know what their other lists are. Like I said, I won't look just because it's a lot to manage, but we'll get into this game. I imagine everybody is on Creep Abyss. So far, we've seen one Creep Abyssian. There's a crawler in this one list here, and a crawler in the other, so yeah. Let's guess everyone is on Creep Abyssian in some capacity. Okay. Turn 1 crawler seems pretty good to me. A good luck, have fun goes down from Cat Paw. Now, I haven't really played Abyss since the update. I don't know how this mirror match fares, but based on the streams that I've been watching, player 2 seems to have the advantage over player 1 in this mirror match. It sort of comes down to who plays creep first. You actually want to play a creep second, not first, right? At least that's what I understand from what I've seen of this matchup. So Cat Paw decided to remove the crawler. Confirmed Harry, not Total Eclipse, also removing the crawler. Excuse me. Different fashion of removal. See New Moon Hex going down on Cat Paw's side. New Moon Hex no longer bugged, so this Shadow Creep belongs to Cat Paw as it rightfully should, instead of giving player 1 a weird advantage. I see that Harry has the Keeper tech, so their plan is to copy Night Splitter and just gain tremendous value from Night Splitter spam. I don't know if Cat Paw is on a similar strategy. He's surprised to see so many Hex means. He felt the card at 2 mana is just too slow. I feel like it's fine for its cost and fair for what it does. But I haven't played with Creep Abyss myself yet, so... It seems like a pretty popular card, though. I think the idea behind it, that it kind of forces your opponent to move every turn, even if it's not good for them, it's quite strong. It's definitely a good trait to have. The replay is probably bugged now, because when you play Keeper of the Veil on a mana tile, you fuck everything up. So we might get desynced, and I don't know if this match is going to finish properly. We'll have to wait and see. But remember that mana tile on the bottom is not really there anymore. Catball spending 2 more demonic lures to get rid of those minions. I feel like I would have just punched the crawler since it was put next to you, but with those 2 lures down, Catball does not have any more demonic lures to deal with. I don't know, a spectral revenant later or something, so that could be relevant down the road. Okay, alright. So Harry is prioritizing preserving the crawler. He could have put the crawler on the bottom tile. But I like this play too. Use the Sphere of Darkness to take center. And just the New Moon Hex cast. Catpaw is gonna overwrite these creeps with his own creep though. And trade in the punch. You want to make sure you knock off a charge of that Hex charm so it only hits you twice, right? Sending away the second keeper, looking for something to do. Harry could tempo out a 5-5 just to, you know, tempo 5-5. Looks like we're just going to do some Void Pulse healing and a little bit of damage and New Moon Hex, more than likely. That's what we will see. We actually don't see the Hex come out. No, I guess that makes sense. You don't want to stack Hex, right? It would chip off an extra charge for the extra ping. I don't know how the ordering of that would work. Would the first one proc first and then the second one would just do a damage? I guess... I'm not sure I've seen anyone stack hexes. I suppose on average you don't want to stack them, right? Alright, Catpaw retaliates with some healing, some creep, some hexing. Harry can do the same thing, I suppose. They can demonic lure this rejuvenated to get rid of it and then do some healing and hexing. I'm curious if they will punch the Abyssal Crawler. Harry is at 15 HP. They are slightly in danger of death. 8 mana. Revenant is 8. You're not near a bunch of creep. So Night Splitter is only 3 right now. Choosing to get back Demonic Lure, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I don't know if New Moon Hex is worth copying at any point. Maybe if you were really in a long-term game against fatigue of some sort. Alright, Catpaw also doing a little trade. They're opting to heal for 3. Oh no, that's not their creep. They're opting to do 3 damage. And then develop the beast that is a Juggernaut. Currently a 10-10 with all the shadow creep on the board. Harry can send Juggernaut away to a corner, so that's not too big of a deal. And then they might want to consider... They could Demonic Lure both things and play their Splitter if they move 2 left and put Splitter on the mana tile. And that will kill... Would that kill both? Can he get enough damage on the Juggernaut? He put the Juggernaut right next to him. Yeah, that is enough damage. It's 6 and then 3 at the end of the turn. That's a really good turn. replacing after deciding on their play. It's okay, we all do it. The outgoing copy of Demonic Lure coming in handy there. Harry is pretty far ahead now. 9 HP is a scary total to be at against the Byssian. They have at least 8 damage coming your way if Revenant hits the board. Speaking of Revenant, Cat Paul's best play to deal with this Night Splitter is Revenant. Is Cat Paul walking left? They are walking left, right? Yeah. Ghost links the block. Makes the most sense. So. Night Splitter number 2 kind of hurts here. We do see Night Splitter number 2 come down. Can't quite kill with the Revy. So Night Splitter 2 makes the most sense. You heal for 6, you get rid of the enemy's board. You gain quite the lead over your opponent, and you can drop your crawler as well and replace one of those tiles into yours if you want. Looks like there's some deliberation on where to set the splitter, putting it slightly further away from Cat Paw. See sad mag face go out. And 17 HP, I think with the new creep list, you're safe over 10. Unless you're like standing around 4 creep, and a Night Splitter is going to do 12. I wonder if these, if there's some tech card you could consider for these creep lists to give you a little extra burst. Because it does feel like they lost some of their killing power. Now they play this longer game out. It's just very different, and I don't mind it. Duelist pacing tends to be very fast. I actually like the creep pacing currently. Although splitter healing for 12 HP can be obnoxious sometimes. Excuse me. 5 and 3 is 8. The ping is going to be 9 exact. That's another Juggernaut answered with a Demonic Lure. And then the Revenant coming down just to clear a Night Splitter. So the past few turns have been play a Night Splitter, and then the other person clears a Night Splitter, and then plays their own Night Splitter. And now, Daisy Doe, go back to your place. Alright, we got some rev to face action. With a clear on that rev, so I think we are, what, Harry is down 1 Revenant and Cat Paul's played their 2nd Revenant. And this might be the last Night Splitter for Harry, but he has Keeper in hand, so we're gonna copy it. Without a doubt. Yeah, I don't think Cat Paw could have done the that Revenant play anywhere for the Revenant to not die to another Night Splitter. The mag sads. Harry back at a healthy 23, I mean 19, I mean 16 HP. Oh, it won't be 16, it'll be 18. Just a reminder, this mana tile is not here, so there's 9 mana to play with. Probably a Sphere of Darkness goes down, and... well, that's lethal, isn't it? There's Revenant to face and Sphere of Darkness. And that's 9 damage. I don't know if Harry doesn't see that, or if what we see is not the reality, because again, the keeper on the mana tile could have desynced things. Unless I'm seeing things incorrectly here, we are choosing to not do lethal. We've chosen to spike the Revenant. Huh? That was weird. Their animations played at the same time, and both Revenants looked like they hit each other. But the one was just dying the spikes. It's tough for me to say for sure if we just let lethal go there, because you know you could just sphered. I don't know if hold on, I'm looking at. Yeah, it says Cat Paw is at 3 HP on both screens. Not sure if they're both incorrect or what. I can only assume they're not actually at 3 HP. I don't want to hit the refresh button and break anything though. Interesting. They decide to heal up to 3. They could have put Sphere above the Revenant and then... No, that wouldn't have worked. Never mind. Never mind. So healing out of range of the Revenant's 4 damage being lethal. But... I was gonna say, with the 1 mana Night Splitter, you just need any creep generator to find it. And we found it. Throwing in everything in the kitchen sink. And the Night Splitter for an extra 6. Okay, so well played by both players. I'm not sure what happened at the end there, and again, it's hard to tell because Keeper can bug things, so I don't know if it was really a mislethal or not. But we're gonna move on to game 2. Let's see if these guys change up their deck or if they're Abyssian all the way through. Okay, back to my main client being player 1. Cat Paw. Alright, I like to see this. And you can submit 2 decks of the same faction, so I don't know if they're going to be on different lists. But it looks like we have the rematch. Pretty sure. I mean, there's Night Splitters and stuff, so... Here we go for game 2 between Cat Paw and Harry. Cat Paw opting to take first, which again, I pointed this out earlier and I'm not sure if it holds true, but I think in the creep match you actually want to be player 2. Newman Hex coming out on turn 1, so that'll be a couple of pings. Good luck, have fun. Yeah, wish your opponent the good luck after you pop this thing on top of them. Harry figuring out where they want to put their crawler, going with the spot above. And they could take 2 steps forward, they take 1 step forward instead. Crawler sets the creep tile. And we're off to the races once more. Abyssian mirror match. We have Sphere of Darkness going down. No tempo. Healing Mystic. Could have opted to play Healing Mystic to deny the mana tile, but I guess... No, I think I would have wanted to deny the mana tile, right? Because Abyssian has 5 mana Shadow Nova currently in their list. I would think you want to prevent the turn 2 Shadow Nova, but I don't know. You think with the creep reworks it's better to be player 1 in the mirror? Yeah, that's a fair thing to think. I am certainly, you know, I don't have like solid evidence for the way that I feel as to whether player 1 or 2 would be at an advantage. I'd need to see some numbers. I'd like to see some numbers. Cat Paul went with the ramp into Night Splitters, and Harry responds with a nice demonic lure. 4 damage, 4 HP minions. Abyss has them covered, and they go with their Healing Mystic as well. Excuse me, I'm getting an itch on my throat. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. We're in for a long one. Alright, we have a crawler. We're trying to keep him safe behind their general. Mama Casiva will protect her pet as it creeps up the battlefield. Considering a dark transformation on the crawler. That is interesting. I feel like you're more dependent on creep generation in general rather than playing Nova first. Player 1 has initiative. Right. Your point is exactly why I think player 2 is slightly stronger. That is a good point though. Maybe Harry wouldn't want to ramp to Nova first because you kind of want to get your creeps out after your opponent does it, so you can cover their stuff. Man, dark transformation on a abyssal crawler. That is crazy. Mama cat, fuck am I here? I know. I try to do some colorful commentary. Is this doing it for you guys? Yeah, Harry can heal for 9. No, I have the tiles backwards. Harry cannot heal for 9. He can heal for 4. Sure you don't want to dark transform that abyssal crawler over there? Yeah, that'll be a good use of your mana. You really like that one? Yeah, feel free, feel free. Harry could tempo out a Night Splitter just to have a 5/5 body, but is it worth it when you don't benefit from the effect? That is the question I'm sure most Abyss players ask themselves now. Decides to float the 5 mana. Meanwhile, Cat Paw happily dumps their Night Splitter out without thinking about it. They get a 6 heal, 3 damage, plus a general trade. They're up. Nice advantage. Ghost Links will fill up the hand too. Hard to argue with the results of that turn. Cat Paw has a solid lead. Harry, I don't think is going to be out of it quite yet, but they might. Well, the Ghost Links being behind you, probably slightly annoying. I guess Revenant comes out to deal with the Night Splitter. And then you want to get rid of the Ghost Links and hope your opponent doesn't follow up with their own Revenant. Because right now with this HP differential, if Cat Paw draws Revenant and just sends it face, it's going to be difficult for Harry to swing things back. Especially when they are very much losing the creep war. 2 to, what is that? 2 to 12. Soon to be 3 to 12. Harry wanted to, he could have moved down and right where the crawler is and have his minions protect his general's face. But he decides to stay next to Cat Paw. And he's in the formation that a Shadow Nova kinda shits all over you at the moment. Yeah, fearless to the Nova. I don't know if that Night Splitter was worth it. I feel like I would have lured the Revenant, because, you know, I probably would have just Night Star Assassin something, maybe even develop both of them. Instead, you could have surrounded Harry with minions. You know he doesn't have Grasp of Agony at this point. I just feel like the Night Splitter missed out on a lot of value there. Harry's still in a rather precarious position, though. I assume the Crawler is going to trade into the Night Splitter. Healing Mystic moving forward and not trading into the other Crawler? I guess a Night Splitter is coming down, so then the Crawler is not trading. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, in retrospect, the Crawler positioning from Cat Paw was really quite good. They put the Nova in between Harry's too, so you couldn't do a 6 heal. Not without taking 3 damage later. I think Harry should have gave up the Mystic to heal 3 more. Possibly. It's Juggernaut time. 14 14s. And the Lionar Smiley emote to boot. 0 mana emote. A powerful move from Cat Paw. Harry is kind of doomed. More than kind of. They are doomed here. They can throw a Revenant at one of them and watch it get completely splattered into red mist. The concede button, an excellent option. Well played by Cat Paw there. I think Cat Paw, they managed to maintain a lead. Harry's best chance was it was one of those middle turns when Cat Paw played the second Night Splitter. That would have been Harry's best chance to turn things around, I think. Anyway, I believe that is 1-1. Oh, we have so many games to go. Yeah, I don't think I'll cover if I cover the losers bracket, it would have to be tomorrow. We'll just worry about the winners bracket tonight, because it's gonna take a while. Be strong. Who's that directed at? Dual track? Who are we telling to be strong? My game is not loading, but I see the healing mystic. I think my duelist is crashing. Alright, well. Oh! Okay. The fucking dailies reset, so Duelyst is probably having a problem. Hold on. I have to reload my Steam client because dailies broke the Duelyst. But my web browser version is still running. Interesting. All right. I guess I gotta refresh that too. I can't actually do anything on the web browser version. I can't like spectate. There's no options in the friends menu. I can refer them to a program. How bizarre. This is awkward. You guys want some we have a fix for this. Hold up. I mean, while stuff is slowly loading, because apparently Duelyst is imploding on itself, we can listen to a little music so you guys aren't left in the lurch while my Steam tries to run Duelyst and it doesn't want to pop up again. Where's I was looking for, what is this? Yeah, that's good enough. Enjoy some musics. Give me a minute. Damn. Both the browser and my Steam, it seems like Duelyst has died. Utterly KO'd. Yeah, Wonka W. Oh, is my stream is running, right? Just make sure my internet didn't die here. Okay. Hold up, everything is running so slow. I can't tell if I'm live still. Oh. Even my Discord's not loading. Stream's fine. Oh, is stream fine? Everything's like dying on me. My Discord is loading. My internet is being slow. But we just got a new router a few days ago. It's supposed to be all nice and, you know, brand new. It's a little white box thing. Of course, we would have some technical difficulties. We might just have to wait a minute for latency reasons. I could reset it. I guess I could go downstairs and reset the router manually. Yeah, I see I'm dropping a fuck ton of frames at the moment. It's kind of a miracle that we're live. Alright, my Twitch loaded. So does that mean we're back? Keeps buffering for you. Yeah, my internet's like having a hissy fit. I think we're coming back slowly. Possibly. And my Discord loaded now. It's not loading. Okay, we're green bars again. I don't know what happened. Maybe someone is doxing my ass right now. Yeah, they're sick of the stream on Epic Series. No, that's my internet. If you guys are buffering, it should be calming down. Seem to be stabilizing. Let me see if Duelyst will open now. on the Steam. You know what? So, I've had this occur before, but that might have been... Let me pause the music. That might have been because I reloaded the browser client. Duelyst on the browser is very, very resource intensive for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway. What were we doing? Confirmed Harry versus Cat Paw? I believe game 3 between these two fine players here. I'm glad it seems good. Yeah, we back. Hopefully. Just a little minor hiccup, everybody. Sorry for the problem. I apologize, but I had nothing to do with it, nor was there anything I could do about it. Okay, let me make sure I've got the right players in the right positions here. Hopefully this is the third game. So we have Harry versus Cat Paw in Creep Mirror, round 3. We're gonna see some creep. We're gonna see some creep getting overwritten by other creep. It's gonna be great. Browser for you is terrible. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but when I use the browser, loading it kind of destroys my internet while it's loading. So I think hitting a refresh on the browser there probably caused that to go down the way it went down. Hold up, they're going by so fast. I gotta hide the hand. They're out the gates and they're doing that thing that they do, playing minions and then answering the minions that are played. I need to pause for like a second so that player 2 can catch up to player 1. Anyway, Cat Paw answers a healing mystic from confirmed Harry. Harry decided to be player 1 in this, or who lost in the last one? I already forget. They decided to be player 1, whoever lost. Or they decide to be player 2. I'll try not to think about it too much because there's going to be... Harry lost a double jug. Right. So Harry decided to be player 1. That makes sense. Thank you very much. I've been casting a creep mirror for like an hour. Yeah. Game 2 went on for a little bit. They've been like 20 minutes a pop, right? Now we're on game 3. I expect another 20 minutes of creep mirror. So we have the turn 2 Sphere of Darkness under your opponent's feet. Cat Paw doesn't care. They're just gonna do some trade in here since they can heal off the damage and develop some board. I should cast Dulce's Run. Well, I'll be casting all of the winners for right now. Was Dulce's Run in the losers bracket? Thank God it's in the lower bracket. Maybe tomorrow I'll look at losers, but I'm just gonna do the winners today because I think it's gonna take a while. Would it be cool to go over? I've heard some interesting things about some of the decks. Harry set up a New Moon Hex Cat Paw. Curious positioning on the Shadow Nova, just because the Hex is going to overwrite your one tile. So I'm surprised the Nova isn't like upper left one tile. Trust you on this, it's not worth it. The world must know. Those games are really fast. Was this the one you were waiting on for like a half hour because it was fatigue mag or something? I saw your post in the Discord. I'm down for 50 minutes of Magmore. Times 3. If that's what happened. They want the body block for the 1-3, you think? I mean, the Shadow Nova positioning. Yeah, I don't mind the. I mean, I don't mind what they do, period. But I think that the crawler made sense. The Shadow Nova positioning was a little strange. Damn, 2 hours to wait. It's a good thing the tournament was split into 2 days. This shit would still be going. Alright, we have a tiny jug that was played for some early game pressure, but it's at that 4 HP threshold, so Demonic Lure is a nice clean answer, and Harry can heal up some of the damage they're taking. Positioning their things 4 spaces away from Cat Paul's Rejuvenator, so he has to reposition a Rejuve. We have essentially a tied game here. Revenant coming down for Cat Paul. One advantage of being player 2, your Revenant comes out first. Excuse me. And going for the face damage. Now, Cat Paul can't really get a Revenant off of their own. It just wouldn't be as valuable considering the circumstances. They could heal for 9 and kill the Rejuve with Night Splitter. If they had a Sphere of Darkness, that would be an insanely good turn. But they don't have a Sphere of Darkness, so they're opting for a Shadow Nova. Sending a Void Pulse face, and then they're going to develop this crawler in some location. Hey, we'll get to watch some Fatigue Mag later, right? I can't wait to see some riveting Fatigue Mag. Alright, we are 12 HP on 12 HP. If Cat Paw had another Rev right now, it would actually be really bad for Harry. Thankfully for Harry, they do not. And I don't know if they replaced yet. But what they do have is a Juggernaut. They can trap Harry in a corner and hope that Juggernaut sticks, I guess is the idea. Drop a sphere under Harry directly and just play the crawler somewhere. Alright, the only thing about Cat Paw's situation is they're losing the Creep War. They're rectifying it a little bit right now. I think they're tied on creep. 7 to 8 creep. 11 to 12 HP. Replacing a Revenant. Ooh, didn't think I'd see the day where Abyss opts to replace a Revenant because it's just not good enough to get you out of the situation. Triple Night Splitter in hand though for Harry. Dark Terminus is a godsend to see. Unfortunately, you're not at 9 mana yet, so you can't Night Splitter with that Dark Terminus, and you kind of had no choice. So you're gonna go to 10, do the Healing Mystic, and hope that you